Genspark have just released their new browser, and this is very impressive indeed. So you can see, for example, I've actually logged into Twitter on Genspark X, whatever you want to call it. And if we go directly on here, what I've actually done is on the right hand side, I've clicked on the Genspark, so Ask Genspark, and this is not Google Chrome or anything like that. It's basically a competitor to Google Chrome. And I've said to the AI, summarize my feed and make a podcast out of it, right? And essentially what you can see here is on the right hand side, Genspark has actually gone off and done its magic, and then not just summarized my feed, which is great, but also generated a full podcast with 11 labs that we can download using all the information from my Twitter feed, right? So it's condensed all the information and turned it into something interesting. Let's have a little play back now.
Today we're covering incredible developments in AI, business, and content creation happening right now. Let's start with the big hiring news. Google DeepMind is actively recruiting AI developer product managers. Logan Kilpatrick.
By the way, if you're wondering, okay, where did that come from? So that's literally this post right here. So the tweet from Logan Kilpatrick, who's lead product for Google, his news has been turned into a podcast on 11 Labs automatically with Genspark, and literally all we said was summarize my feed and make a podcast out of it. Now there's a million other things you can do, but you can see the power of it. Let me show you another example. So for example, if we go over to YouTube here and we'll navigate to my channel, and then we're going to take an example video. So let's click on this one. I'm just going to mute it, and then if we click on here, this is crazy stuff. So if you click on here, what you can actually see on the right hand side is we can do multiple different things with Genspark directly. So inside this Genspark browser that you can download, you could, for example, say summarize video content, right? And on the right hand side, it's going to pop up with the summary of video content right there. Also, if we said, okay, extract the transcript or auto-generate slides, what it would actually do with the auto-generate slides section is it would turn the video into a PowerPoint presentation automatically, right? And if we wait for this to load, you can see it's now taking the information from the video, summarizing it. It's even got the key timestamps right there. It's basically like turned a YouTube video into a custom AI agent that you can ask any questions directly to. So you can see the timestamps here. It talks about the key cost comparisons, the second challenge. And by the way, if you look at the actual sources on the right hand side, you can actually click on where it's referenced this information. So where has it got this information from, which is super useful. And then, for example, we could say, okay, extract the transcript now. It will start a new chat and start extracting the transcript from the video. And this is before I've even logged into YouTube. Right, it's just doing that without even logging in, which is crazy. So you can basically turn any YouTube video into a blog post with timestamps. You can extract information super quickly. You can see all the key information and just get the 80/20 of it without even watching this, right? And then you can actually click on download the transcript, and that'll give you the transcript ready to download right there. Now, also, if we go on to auto-generate slides or Ask Genspark, we can auto-generate some PowerPoint slides, but we can also click on Ask Genspark here, and then inside here we can ask any questions that we have, right? So for example, if this is a video about ChatGPT versus L3 versus Claude 4, whatever. So if you go inside here and we'll say, right, okay, who won? Right, I don't want to watch a 16-minute video about this. I just want to know like who won, who was the best. So let's have a look, and it will start understanding the video and looking at the video. So if we click on this task, you can see what it's doing and how it's doing it, right? So it's looking through the transcript. And then it actually gives us a breakdown, round by round, of who won, right? It breaks down the challenges, the process, etc. And then it says, right, ChatGPT got 2 wins, Claude Opus got 1 win, and Gemini got 0 wins. So ChatGPT 03 is the overall winner, right? Save yourself 16 minutes of watching a Julian Goldie SEO video. So it's pretty wild what you can do with this. Very, very powerful and incredibly easy to use. It just feels like Google Chrome, to be honest with you. Like even if I use the same tab shortcuts, so for example, if I press Command and T, that's going to open up a new tab. But the beautiful thing about this is, unlike Chrome, it's going to go straight to Genspark automatically. And then we could even click on like call for me, and it will actually make an outbound call for us once we've registered our number, right? So it has this phone assistant, and you've basically got an auto dialer on any new tab using this process right here. It's absolutely amazing. What we can also do is, let's have a look here. So if we go on to, let's say we go on to, I want to see if this works. So if we go to Amazon, I'm just going to click on a random product. Right, so it pulls in the information from the page, and then it's like, hi there, what can I help with? And you'll see on the right hand side here, the Genspark super agent breakdown, right? And it says smart AI tools for everything you do on the web. Now, from here, what you can actually do is you can find the best deal, compare similar products, see what others say, and ask Genspark directly. So you can, again, turn this page into a custom GPT where you ask any questions. So if we click on find the best deal here, it's going to take the information about the product and then price search across the web for us to find us the best deal. By the way, if you want all of the video notes from today, all the links, etc., plus a bunch of useful resources on Genspark and AI super agents, a cheat sheet that actually guides you through exactly what we're talking about today, feel free to get this inside the AI Success Lab. Link in the comments description. Runs you through all the different ways that you can use this, all the different MCPs, etc. as well. It's actually got 700 MCPs built into Genspark directly, and you can do all of this inside the browser. You can download the browser at genspark.ai if you want to get access. And you can see here it's available for Mac currently. It's coming soon to Windows. It's not available on Windows yet, and I don't think it's available on mobile yet, but I'm sure that's coming. And I've also included a full SOP and step-by-step breakdown for free inside the AI Success Lab if you want to get access to this stuff. So let's go back to the price comparison. So literally all we said was find best deal, and then it went off and it came up with a bunch of candidate matching results and also gave us some example prices, compared them, etc. And then it's looking through all these different websites, comparing the price. So for example, eBay, it's looking at Walmart. What else we got? Shane, right? I don't know if I pronounced that right, but you get the point. Like basically it's very easy to just compare all the models across the web and then figure out, okay, what can we improve, right? We could even, for example, like I'm pretty sure you could use this as kind of like a copywriting assistant or a digital marketing assistant. So if we go to my website, the AIprofitboardroom.com, right, and we pull in the information from this page, I want to say, okay, give me 5 new headlines that would help attract attention better, something like that, right? And then now what it's going to do is going to take the content from the page. It's already got the context of the website, and it starts generating the responses, right? So for example, from 60 hours a week, warning, blah, 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 copy my exact, AI money machine, pretty good to go, right? Now, I don't know if it can actually interact with the page, but I assume it can. We'll come on to this video in a second. So let's try this out now. If we go on to, let's see what we can do here. So if we, for example, go on to Genspark, and I'm going to say, right, find a chess game and play it for me. I don't know if it's going to be able to interact with our browser directly. I would hope so, but let's see what we get back in a sec. All right, so it's found live chess. All right, and then I'm going to ask Genspark to play this for me. Yeah, it doesn't have the capability to directly interact with or control the chess game, right? So that is a limitation of it. I would have to play chess myself. I can't just get the AI to go off and do it. So it is a limitation for sure. I actually think a better way to do this is you can use Nano Browser. So if we go onto Google Chrome, for example, we can actually use Nano Browser. Let's pull this up. And this should be able to play chess for us. So for example, if we go back to this chess website, and then I'm going to say, right, play chess for me. I'm just going to start a new page first. So we'll create a game. And we'll see if this can play for me. To be fair, neither of these can actually work, which is not great. Yeah, so I think that's a limitation of these browsers right now. But if we go back to Genspark now, we'll close that. What we're going to do from here is we're going to... Now I'm going to show you something interesting as well. So for example, if we go on to... Let's have a look here. The Daily Mail, something like that, right? Like a common newspaper. Okay. If we actually click on the top right over here, you're going to see that actually tracks and blocks a lot of ads, right? Not that I read the Daily Mail, but I just want to show you an example of like how this works. So it can basically block ads, it can block tracking as well, so it's kind of good for privacy too. And also, I mean, you do want to be careful what you plug in here, so be careful with putting your password details and that sort of thing. You know, don't share anything you don't want to share. But if we go onto a new tab as well, and then we'll put testing here, what you're actually going to see is it doesn't even use Google as the main search. So it actually uses Brave Search, which is very similar, but it's more of like a privacy-based searcher. And you can see that it comes up with different responses here. But the difference here is like you won't see any ads inside Brave Search, which is pretty cool as well. So not only does it block ads on the main website, but also it blocks ads by using Brave Search as a default searcher, which means that you skip all the Google problems that you typically get when it comes to getting traffic. All right, now let's play this demo as well. So this is the demo from Genspark and how it works.
Hey, I'm very excited to introduce Genspark AI Browser, Genspark Super Agent.
So if we skip through this, right, you can see an example. So it can actually create some AI slides based on a YouTube video.
Beautifully feed.
You could browse your personal feed. So you can say check my account, read my feed, summarize stuff. You can block ads. And also you have this MCP store, right? So if we go back to Genspark now, I'm going to go into Genspark here directly. And you can choose different tools, right? So you've got, for example, Gmail, Calendar, X, Content Explorer, and you can add new MCPs directly inside here. Now, it's pretty wild how many different MCPs you can link. So, for example, right now, I've got Gmail linked, I've got Calendar, but there's so much more you can actually add to this. So, for example, you've got Playwright Browser Automation, you've got X and Twitter, you've got a Reddit MCP. Like all of these MCPs you can just install with one click, which is absolutely awesome because we've all been there on Visual Studio Code where it takes like 20 minutes to install an MCP and it takes ages. This is a lot faster. It's also got some password trackers in there as well, which is pretty interesting. You can, but yeah, there seems to be so much you can do with this. So it's pretty much endless. Let me just have a look at some other use cases inside the AI Success Lab. So what would be quite interesting here is to see if it can actually fill out forms as well. So I'm just going to test that out. What we're going to do is we're going to go to this form here, which is form, as you can see. And I'm going to go into Genspark and see if it can actually fill out this form for me. So it can't actually fill out forms directly, but what it can do is it can draft responses, it can analyze the form, etc. So what you can actually do is like ask it to answer all of these questions. And then you can just copy and paste directly into the form. That will probably be one of the easiest ways to do this. Now, the other thing you can do directly from here is you could also, for example, you could go inside here and you can say, right, okay, send an email to me at juliangolder.com telling him about Genspark browser and how good it is. And what this should do is use the email tool to automatically draft stuff for you, right? So you can see it's now generating the email draft. And then once that's done, it's going to draft the email body, the subject line, etc. And we'll get a choice between sending it or drafting it, right? So for example, if we wait for this to load, it's now creating like a nicely designed email, promotional email. I mean, you could probably even use this for cold email outreach, to be honest, if you were going for a more like sniper approach. It even links directly to the right place, so it links to genspark.ai. Then we've got the full email drafted out, like you can see. And then we've got a choice. We can send it or we can save it as draft, right? Or you can edit it before you send it. So if you click on this, you can actually edit the email first before you send it, right? So you can see I can type inside there. And then if we click on send here, that's going to send the email. And then if we go, I don't know if this is going to work. It should do. Yeah, so you can see that actually opens up my emails. And then if we go to me at juliangolder.com, open up the emails, we'll open this up, and you can see I've received the email from Genspark. Pretty crazy, right? So it said this email was sent to introduce you to Genspark, blah, blah, blah. You can see my typing right there, and it automated the email ready to go, right? Crazy stuff. So if you want to get access to all the video notes from today, the full recipe, the cheat sheet as well. The cheat sheet is super powerful because it breaks down exactly what you can do, why it's different, how to get it, etc. So you can get that inside the AI Success Lab. Link in the comments and description. You can see a full breakdown here of like the YouTube content process, the autopilot mode, you know, how you can generate podcasts, premium websites, all this sort of stuff using Genspark and its new browser. It's better than I expected it to be honest. I think the only thing missing from it right now is the fact that it can't control your browser. So it can't fill in forms for you. It can't, for example, scroll or interact with the page directly. I'm sure that's coming, but right now it's just not ready to go. But if you want to get all the video notes and the cheat sheet plus all these resources, I've left links to them all inside the AI Success Lab. Link in the comments and description, along with a full recipe and demo prompts. and you can get that directly. If you want to connect with me personally, if you want to get coaching support, help, if you want to get 3 coaching calls per week, like you can see, and if you want to join a community of winners who celebrate our wins and the challenges along the way, feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. What we do actually each week, like you can see on this post, I actually got 49 comments, which is crazy. So each week you can post your questions and any automations you want to see, and then we'll actually build them for you live on a video, along with all the links to the timestamp of the video, plus where to get the automations that we built for you. So feel free to get that link in the comments description to the AI Profit Boardroom. And additionally, you can see inside the classroom here, we have exclusive content that you won't find anywhere else. You'll find the coaching calls and the Q&A call recordings right here. You won't find these anywhere else. And also all of these different agency workflows. So awesome stuff. Feel free to get that link in the comments description to the AI Profit Boardroom. And additionally, if you just want to get us to automate stuff for you, you can book in an AI strategy session, link in the comments description. And on that call, we'll basically look at your business, analyze exactly what will save you the most time, and then show you exactly how to automate it. And if it makes sense for us to implement that for you, we're happy to do so. And you can become a client of ours, right? We're happy to do the work for you. So feel free to get that link in the comments in the description. Geeking says, can you drop the cheat sheet link here? So I've put the link inside the AI Success Lab. If you can't see the link, just Google it and then you can join the free school group with all the links. I don't post links on like Twitter and stuff like that, simply because if I do post it directly on the live stream, like the algorithm will penalize me for, and then the video won't get any views. So I don't go down that route. Instead, I just put everything inside the AI Success Lab directly. So today I'm going to show you how I created this Shorts Clipper workflow that basically takes my long form video content, clips it into shorts automatically. You can create hundreds of shorts if you want to on autopilot, and then generates the shorts, sends them to Google Sheets, and you can actually auto post them to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, etc. I'll show you exactly how to do that in a second. If you want to see an example of the video, let's pull this up. So this is the short clip with the captions and the audio directly, like you can see right here. And if we actually unmute that, let me show you an example of how it sounds. Manus AI agents now have Veo 3 built right in, and this is your blueprint. So this short was created with an NA10 workflow. I'll break through exactly how you can build it step by step today. And the other thing to note about this, right, is that it even adds music to the content, and it's all done with an API. So let me break down exactly how it works step by step. You can see the full workflow here, pretty neat and tidy. If you want to just download the template, then you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Just go to the video shorts clipper in the classroom, and then you can download the JSON and just one click import that into NA10. Pretty simple. Once it's done, you can see that we actually post the shorts automatically to a nice little spreadsheet like this, and then we are ready to go. By the way, just a quick one here as well. Just want to say that this was inspired by Robo Nuggets, which is an awesome YouTube channel. I didn't use his template, but I did build it from scratch based on his video. Definitely worth checking out his channel. Awesome stuff. And basically what you can see here is we've got 3 stages. So we get the video URL of our long form content. Then we're going to generate the video. Then we're going to add the shorts URL to Google Sheets. Now, let me show you exactly how this works. So the first thing that you want to set up is a scheduled trigger, like you can see right here. And with this scheduled trigger, essentially what you can see on the schedule is that once per day, this triggers, it looks through my spreadsheet, generates some shorts based on what's ready for production. So it gets the videos from my spreadsheet, and this is inside this sheet template. Now, if you want to get that sheet template, I've actually got it inside the AI Profit Boardroom, so you can steal it from me. You can just go to File, make a copy. But basically, inside this spreadsheet template, you can actually grab a YouTube URL for the final output and then use that to generate the shorts, right? So, for example, here you can see that we've said get videos from my Google Sheet, sheets within document, get the row, and then look for only videos with the production that says needs shorts, right? So if it says, for example, shorts created, that's going to be filtered and not used in the automation. But if it says need shorts, then that automation will be used, right? It will create a short clip based on the automation that we want. From there, once we've got the long form URL, and by the way, you want to make sure that is youtube.com/watch. So make sure you use that type of URL, not like the normal URL from YouTube. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to be using a tool called clap.app, right? And this is really cool for turning videos to shorts. So you can see, for example, here, we've got a bunch of short content based on the long form video. And essentially inside Clap, what you can do is you can get an API key for turning videos into shorts. So you can paste a YouTube link in here, it generates a video, and then that turns into a short. So once you've set up the URL, which is the endpoint, you're going to make sure you have post inside this HTTP node. And then on the header auth, I've used authorization and then the key like you can see right here, right? That's basically how you set up the API. So you just put in authorization as the name. You can rename this clap in the top left so you can reuse this automation whenever you want. And also inside the value, you just paste in your API key. If you're wondering how do you get an API key from Clap, what you can do is you would just go to account, API, and then you can grab an API key from Clap, right? To get an API key, what you would do is you just go to clap.app, then you can find this example, and from there you can go in the REST API and grab an API key like you can see, right? Pretty simple and easy. Now, once you've set up the header auth, then from here, you're going to send body. And inside the send body section, you select JSON, using JSON, and then you can see how we've set this up, right? So what it's dynamically doing each time is it's taking the video URL from our Google Sheet and then plugging that into the JSON body right here. Make sure as well, when you're going through each step, you want to test the step, make sure the data is loaded, and then also right click this and pin it, right? The reason you want to pin it is because then you've saved that data so you can use it on the next module, right? So for example, if we click on this, what it's actually doing is it's pulling in the information from our Google Sheet, which was the last module, and then plugging it through here. So test each step, make sure it works, etc. And you can see we've actually set up the dimensions, so you can change the dimensions if you want to. And you can also change the minimum and maximum duration of the clip, the target duration, the language, how many clips you want to generate. So for example, if you wanted to generate like 100, you really could if you wanted to. Wouldn't recommend it, but you can. And then you can go from there. So once you've generated the clips, then you're going to wait. Usually it takes about 5 minutes to generate, right? So for example, here you would put like 500 seconds in the wait amount. And then you can see it's pulling in the data right here. So it says status processing, and then you check the shorts and you just make sure this is done, right? Again, for the authentication, we're using generic auth type, using the Clap credentials we had previously, not using send body, send headers, or query parameters. And then in the URL, we've got api.clap.app/v2/tasks/ the JSON ID from the previous example, right? So this is the ID from the wait module. You would pull that in over here. Once you've done that, you're going to check that short, just make sure it's done. And then you can see the JSON ID is pulled in, and this is /tasks again. And then we're good to go. And then here you can see this is a different API key. So these are all HTTP modules. So to add one of these, you just click on the plus sign, HTTP request, plug this in like you can see. And then also you can see this is a get, right? So if we have a look at these modules, we've got post, wait, HTTP request get, another get, and then another get, right? Now if we have a look at the get right here, basically what we've done is we've said api.clap.app /v2/projects, and then we're taking the JSON output ID, right? The output ID is this one down here, so we've pulled that in over there to make sure it's dynamic each time, right? And basically what that means is each time it uses the automation, it's going to select the latest video, the latest output ID, which means that you always get dynamic outputs, right? So you're good to go on that. So from here, you've basically completed stage 1 and you've completed stage 2, right? Now, for generating the shorts clip, like you can see, again, we're using a different API endpoint, right? And this is a post method. Now, basically what this module right here is doing is it's taken the short and it's exporting it, so it's rendering it. The reason you want to do that is because if you just use the shorts URL from the clip that's really basic, it's not going to be very good. It's not going to look high res. It's not going to look great, right? Whereas, for example, if we go to the generated shorts clip here, it renders and exports the clip from Clap. Now, what you're also going to see here is it's pulled in all this information right here, which is pretty cool. So if you want to see how that works step by step, let me show you an example. So we're going to go back over to Clap. Clap.app. All right. And then if we get started here and we click on this video, for example, what this has done is it's generated from this video. From this video right here that's on my channel, right? From that video, it's generated 2 different shorts. Now, like I said, you can change the N8N workflow so that you actually create like 100 different shorts if you want to. Just change the number in the JSON. And then you can see what it's actually done. This is really cool. Is it's actually come with a virality score. So it's like, right, this video has high virality potential due to its intriguing topic, blah, blah, blah. And then it's given us a transcript of the video so we can check that out. But also what it's going to do is it's going to take that low res preview and then export it using this module right here. Okay. Now, once you've done that, you'll also see that we've got captions generated for TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram, which is awesome because now not only do we automate the clip, not only do we automate the posting, which I'll come on to later, but we also automate the caption and the hashtags for the video. And so really, you don't need to do anything here. You just literally plug in your long form video and you create a bunch of clips. Now, are these shorts like as good as a human editor could do? I wouldn't say so, right? And I don't think anyone else will tell you in these workflows that they're probably not as good as a human, but are they impressive? And does it have a lot of potential? Absolutely, right? Some of this stuff you could post directly to YouTube. So again, inside the authentication here, we're using api.clap.app /v2/projects. And then here you can see, this is interesting, if we pull this up, is we're using the JSON folder ID, right, which you've got from the previous module. And then we're also using the JSON ID, which you've got from the previous module over here, right? So folder ID and then /ID of the video and then /exports, right? So that exports the video. And then from here, you've got the generic credential type, send body, JSON, using JSON, and inside the preset ID, you just use this JSON here. So squiggly brackets, quote preset underscore ID, quote colon, and then in quote marks, I just put peanuts. You can put whatever you want in there and you're good to go. You don't have to put peanuts if you don't want to, all right? If you're allergic to peanuts, don't put that in. And then from here, on stage 3, we've generated the shorts clip. We're going to get the final URL for the video. So that's taken the final video URL, using a similar format for the JSON URL. We're using header auth again, and that's pretty much good to go. Now, from here, what I like to do is I like to take the information that we've got so far, right? we're going to put it into a Google Sheet. So for example, if we go to our spreadsheet here, where it took the original long form video, inside the production section, it's got shorts created. And basically what it's done is it's pulled in the information from our Google Sheet, mapped the columns automatically, and then updated the production status so that we know, okay, we've already created shorts for that, we don't need to do that again. And so it's not going to automatically run through the workflow again, if that makes sense. All right. Then we test out, we're good to go on that. We can see the production section there. And finally, this is the final part of the automation, is you're going to send this to Google Sheets, right? So you can see here, we've now got the storage link. We can go to our other tab, which is Shorts Clipper inside the template. We've got the title, the caption for YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Instagram matched. And basically what we've done here is we've got a Google Sheet module, Sheets within document, a pen row is the operation, and then we've taken the information from the list, but the sheet that we're using is the Shorts Clipper sheet, which is this one right here. We're not using sheet number 1. So inside there, we're good to go. And then inside the links, we've added the Shorts link, the caption for YouTube, caption for TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then we put the status as to be published, which is right there, right? And we're good to go on that. So boom shakalaka, that's how you basically automate clips and shorts from long form. Now let me show you how to automate the posting. And by the way, if you just want a swipe and deploy template for all this stuff, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description. From there, go to Video Shorts Clipper. You can see all the links, but the most important bit is the JSON file right down here. So what happens if you want to auto post, right? Well, I've actually got a video tutorial inside the AI Profit Boardroom, along with an importable template like you can see. And basically, as you can see inside this automation, you can actually export from the Google Sheet that you have with the video URL and the captions, which is this one right here. You can export that via a tool called Blotato. You upload that video to Blotato, and then you're going to post that over to TikTok, to Instagram, to YouTube, whatever you want to use, right? So you can see how we've automated the whole process right here. Really simple and easy, and very, very powerful as an automation, right? And all you need to do is, again, you can just download this template, and then if we go over here, we can import the template. So we'll import from file, get that JSON file, boom, auto poster linked, right? And then if we actually delete that node, and then we'll link this over here, boom shakalaka, you just got the auto posting ready to go, right? Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. So that is basically the full automation for NA10, including how to automatically get a long form video, turn it into a couple of shorts, send them to a spreadsheet, and then take that spreadsheet and upload it to TikTok or any other platform. Again, all the video notes and the templates are inside the AI Profit Boardroom. You can just get the JSON files. And also, if you want to see an example of the video auto posted to TikTok, let me show you an example right here. So if you go to this profile, you can see an example of a video that I actually automated with another NA10 automation and then uploaded to TikTok. Boom. All right. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all of my best templates, workflows, etc., you can get them all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This comes with tons of different NA10 agents, along with a lot more. But if you want to get all my best NA10 templates, like you can see, including HeyGen Avatar Automator, you've got a Suno AI music generator. We've also got a Veo 3 automation for creating like insane videos with a click. A Reddit bot that can actually just search Reddit and then give you answers and information based on that. Even like translation bots we've created, so like automatic translators inside the AI Profit Boardroom. That's all available right there. And this also comes with 3 coaching calls per week, so you can connect with me personally. You can jump on the coaching calls and the Q&A calls 3 times per week. If you want more, we'll probably add more. It's up to you. You know, just let us know once you've joined, and we can figure out, okay, do you want more calls, or do you want less calls, or you know, what's the best thing for you? And then also inside the community here, you can see that we help people, we share our wins, we celebrate our victories, and it's just an awesome community of people who connect about, you know, basically scaling and making money with AI, right? That's what the whole game is about, right? Additionally, what you can do inside here is you can request any automations that you need help with, post inside this thread, and then we'll actually answer any questions and give you video tutorials and build stuff for you completely for, as part of the package of the AI Profit Boardroom. So you can get this all directly here. And additionally, if you just want us to automate all of this stuff for you, build out the templates, etc., customize it all to your business and implement it, then feel free to book in an AI discovery session. You can jump on that call, talk us through what you want to automate, and then we can just automate it for you once you become a client, right? And if your time is worth between $100 to $500 per hour, which it probably is if you're an entrepreneur, then this system is going to free up 100 hours a month, right? Which means that you're going to save $10 to $50,000 per month without doing anything, right? We just do everything for you. So feel free to get that link in the comments and description. Happy to help you. All right, so today, what we're going to do each week inside the AI Profit Boardroom community is we are going to answer and build automations for people that they've requested to see. So each week, basically what we say is, what do you want us to build? We'll go off and build it with you, and then we'll share it with the world and help everyone, right? And so, for example, here, if we have a look through the requests so far, we have Lauren first on the list. Lauren says, I've been using Claude 4 desktop and I think I have most of the MCPs set up correctly and I trained it on NA10 and there's memory too. I want to automate preparing digital resources to market, including cover art, blog posts, website, landing pages, etc. Right? So what do I recommend? Are there any platforms you prefer? Right? So I'm going to show you a few different options for doing this stuff. Right? So number one, if you want to create cover art, right? So for example, if you go inside the AI Profit Boardroom here, inside the classroom, all of this art is generated with AI. My favorite for doing this is actually something called Leonardo.ai, right? Leonardo.ai is an image generator, creates super nice images, and for cover art, it's beautiful, right? So for example, if we go inside here, and then what we're going to do from here is we're going to go to image, and then inside this section, you can generate images. So for example, we scroll down here, we've said a futuristic digital art piece featuring a predominantly dark and blue neon accentuated aesthetic with the bold sans serif font free AI Success Lab. And then it created this beautiful image, right? Okay. And so you can easily generate cover art like you can see using Leonardo.ai. Really powerful, really easy to use, super fast. For generating blog posts, out of everything that I've seen, my favorite at the minute is SEO Writing AI. Right, so if you go to SEO Writing AI, super powerful tool. What you can actually do is if you go to super page over here, you can generate these awesome super pages. If you want to see some examples of what I built, let's have a look over here. So here's some stuff that I built. And if we pull up this example, you can see here that it's generated and automated a nice blog post with images, with nice columns, nice CTAs to book in a free consultation. It's created like a beautiful landing page, but this is a blog post, right? It's even created the charts and everything else. And that is far better than anything else I've seen on the market right now, right? Also, you can see here, it gives you the content score. So if you're trying to create SEO content, obviously you want to optimize not just for the content itself, not just for writing the content, not just for design, but also for semantics, right? LLMs and search engines are based on semantics. And so you want to optimize that content in terms of like the LSI keywords, the headings, the meta tags, the content score, etc. And you can do all of that inside SEO Writing AI. And literally all I said to it was like, go after the keyword international SEO agency, boom shakalaka, it does its magic. Plus you can edit all this stuff and you can also click on publish, and then with the publish button, it will send it over directly to WordPress. So that's one of the best ways to create blog posts, in my opinion. And then for websites and landing pages, my favorite is Genspark right now. I'll show you an example. So if we have a look at this page right here, basically what we've done is we went into Genspark and we said, right, research Julian Goldie, research his AI profit boardroom, and then create a beautiful landing page based on that, right? And you can see this landing page actually converts really well. As an example of that, if we have a look at the AI profit boardroom here, you can see that, this product is currently at $61 a month. It actually goes up after 700 members, but essentially this product is converting really well. So we've got 656 people, most of them paying around about $50 to $60 per month, and that's what, like $30,000 MR. So this landing page converts really well. It's all generated with AI, converts better than any other landing page I've ever put on the internet, and it was all generated with Genspark. Crazy stuff. Now if you want to build this out, basically you just go over to Genspark, and from here what you can do is, if we go inside the chat, we can say, okay, research Julian Goldie and his AI profit boardroom, right? And basically you would customize this to your business. So for example, whatever you're selling, whatever product you got, if that information is not available on the internet, then just upload or tell the AI about that information and that product before you do this. And then from there, you're going to say, okay, once done, create a beautiful modern landing page, right? Based on that, right? Now, you can also use Claude for this. So I've got an example prompt right here, cheat sheet prompt, and this creates like nice little cheat sheets. So as an example of that, we were recently talking about the Genspark browser agent. If we have a look at the cheat sheet that we created around this was generated with Claude, and we published it to a subdomain. As you can see over here, and this basically generated a beautiful landing page using that prompt. Now all you need to do is really simple, is you go over to Claude AI. I know you said you were using Claude AI. So from here you're going to plug in the prompt, then you're going to put the title, the topic, so for example Genspark AI agent, then we're going to hit enter. So command and enter is a shortcut to just quickly enter stuff, and then what it's going to do is start coding out a landing page inside the HTML that you can publish onto a subdomain via Claude artifacts, right? So you just click this publish button once it's done, and then you're living the dream, right? And that's how you can easily just publish subdomains, create them using Claude, and they do look really good, as I've shown you inside this cheat sheet right here. So you got many different ways to do it. My personal favorite, like I said, is Genspark, but you can use Claude too, and SEO writing AI is great for blog writing. So next up, let's have a look here. So Douglas was asking, how about an RSS feed to a talking head short using Synthesia avatar? So I think I've used Synthesia. I wasn't impressed, right? I don't think it's the best for using avatars. What I prefer for AI avatars, and I know this works well because I've tested it, right? So if we put, for example, most insane AI news, Julian Goldie on YouTube, we'll find a video that performed well. So for example, this one got 53k views. This was generated with HeyGen, right? This avatar right here. I actually created a better one recently, but to do that with HeyGen, I've actually got a automation with NA10 inside the AI profit boardroom, right? So you just go to the HeyGen NA10 automation. From there, you're going to download the advanced workflow, and then you're going to upload that into NA10. So let me show you an example. So if we go inside NA10 here, and then we can go, Complex434 says, you're still amazing, Julian. One of the best voices on the edge applied AI innovations. Thanks so much. Appreciate you. Ola Art says, Genspark is giving out information to someone. I mean, don't put any information that you're not comfortable putting out there, right? So if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to AI Shorts Automation, and I'm going to find the advanced one. There we go, advanced HeyGen automation copy, right? And so what you would do here is you're actually going to, one second, let me just go and change my camera here, 1 second. All right, back in the game. Yeah, it should be good to go on that. Why does this webcam look so bad? It's so unclean. I don't like that. All right. So once you've done this, basically if we go over to... Tom says change of camera confirmed, not an AI avatar. Jokes. All right, so what you're going to do from here is you can actually add a new node and just type in RSS, right? So it can read RSS. Now you can have an RSS feed trigger that triggers this automation, right? So if we put that over here, then what you can do is we can delete that. Then we can send that over there like so, right? And now you've got an RSS feed trigger that triggers the automation to research, then script write, and basically what you would do is just plug in the RSS feed that you want to test, right? So for example like that. Then you're going to go into the research agent and you're going to grab the link and you would put that inside the prompt section, right? So if we click on define below, we would put that inside here. Then we would say, okay, based on this, you know, and then generate the outputs. So that's essentially how you can use RSS feed trigger to generate a HeyGen avatar. Again, I don't recommend using Synthesia just because I've not been as impressed by the outputs versus something like this. I think you're going to get much better outputs using HeyGen instead, right? And also, it's much easier to link the API. You know, the actual, one of the members, I won't say who, but one of the members of the HeyGen team actually reached out to me and was like, well, I didn't even realize you could do this with HeyGen. Like, we don't have a NA10 module. And then I sent him the JSON. He was like, oh, great work, right? So it's one of the few ways that I know to generate avatars. I actually learned that from, there's a guy on YouTube, Nate Herc. I'd recommend checking out his channel. He told me, you know, how to do all this stuff. But yeah, essentially that's what you can do. So next up, let's have a look here. Being new to automation, what are some low-hanging MVP fruit one could use to help business stuck in the Flintstone age? To get them to the Jetsons. Shaking people out of their comfort and fear is the hardest part about AI. I would agree. I think a lot of people are behind, right? So I would just say, right, you know, what do you spend the most time on? And I'd start there, right? So for example, if you're working with a business and they spend all the time on creating SEO content, well then you can build a custom GPT and show them like, listen, this is how you can automate with AI. You know, all that time you're wasting right now, you could just automate it and just show them right there and just blow their minds. Or for example, if they're spending all their time creating Facebook ads, you could be like, right, okay, here's how you automate Facebook ads with a custom GPT. And so I would show them what they're doing right now is probably wasting a lot of time, and here's the solution. Now, you know, you know what it's like. You can't change people. You can only change yourself. And so, like, there's going to be some people, some businesses, a lot of businesses who are already behind and falling behind. So sometimes you can't change people, but this is how I would approach it. That's how I've approached it with my team. I'm like, you know, for example, we automated the drafting of emails for customer service. We don't automatically send it, like the AI, the account managers will actually check the email, make sure it's correct and useful first and edit it before sending, but it just saves a lot of time. And when I first showed them that automation, they were really against it. Like, they were just scared. They were scared they were going to get replaced, right? And so they were operating off this fear mindset. And so when they were doing that, it was hard. It was hard getting them to turn around. But after a while, once they saw the use of it and they saw how much time they saved, now they don't complain or anything at all. They love it. So anyway, going back to this, what I recommend is you just start with a crash course, figure out, okay, what are you spending all your time on, do the time audit, right? I show you how to do time audits here to save hundreds of hours, and I've got a time audit template, and then inside the AI profit boardroom, you can go from there. And if you get stuck any place along the way, just let me know. So Francesco, he's already talked about the MCP. I think he posted twice on that, so I've already answered that. John says, what's your preferred setup? Do you use RuCode or Visual Studio Code? Right, so I actually don't use RuCode or VS Code anymore, right? And the reason for that is because I tend to get better outputs just using these tools, right? So for example, like Lovable or Bolt.new, and I'll come on to an automation with Bolt.new in a minute, but essentially these tools will give you better functionality and better results versus anything else. So that's what I would recommend. I just think that's going to give you better outputs, especially if you're not used to Visual Studio Code. Typically, Visual Studio Code, it tends to be quite underwhelming. Whenever I've done outputs from it, like whenever I've created something from it, I'm like, it's okay, but it's not great. It's not going to blow my mind. It's not going to blow anyone else's mind. And John says, you seem to make a lot of references to SEO. Am I missing something useful here? I'm green to this, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, for that, like, I make a lot of references to SEO in my workflow simply because I'm an SEO agency. And so, like, I want to show you how I've actually implemented this stuff for my own SEO agency and how you can too for whatever business you have, right? The most important thing about using AI as an entrepreneur is that you can actually find actionable ways to use it, right? Like it's great to have ChatGPT, but how do you use that inside your business? How do you make it practical? That's the main question, and most people don't ever end up answering that question. So that's why I've created this crash course, which shows you all the ways that I've implemented this stuff inside my business directly with examples in each video tutorial inside the AI Profit Boardroom. But essentially, that's what I do, right? Now, in terms of SEO, we've actually got tons of case studies of how we've helped websites on the Goldie Agency website. Like you can see, like, we've got so many great testimonials and case studies. It's absolutely amazing. But essentially, you know, if you were wanting to create a SaaS tool, right, to make an app like you're talking about here, well, a lot of SaaS tools like Zapier, for example, the way that they scaled is through SEO. And so like SEO traffic, particularly because people are searching more than ever now, is becoming more important than ever, right? Like the what, right? So the what, aka like needing to be found online, is never ever going to change, right? Like as a business, you're always going to need to be found online. However, if you want to be, you know, the how is going to change, right? So how people search is going to change. Like the way people search now, more and more it's going to be ChatGPT. Now, how do you rank inside ChatGPT? Well, it's the same way you rank inside other AI search engines, right? Which is backlinks, social media content, and training the LLMs about your data, right? That's why we post on Reddit and other platforms every single day, because we want to train the LLMs on who we are and what we do, etc. Especially now that Reddit have just announced a deal with Reddit, with OpenAI. I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's crazy. But anyway, let's go back. Yeah, let's have a look here. So you've got the OpenAI and Reddit partnership here. So they announced that they're bringing Reddit's content to ChatGPT. And so if you're not posting content on ChatGPT, you're missing out because you're going to get found with ChatGPT using Reddit. And also you can see Zapier's traffic right there. So there you go. Can you show us how we can use RuCode to make us an app completely free? All right, let's pull up an example. So I've actually got a tutorial here that runs you through it. If you want to start using Visual Studio Code, let me show you. So we can go inside Visual Studio Code right here. Again, I'm not a big fan of it, but if you want to use it, you can, and I'll show you how. So basically, if you want to use this for free, what you want to do first of all is download it. Then you're going to type in Klein, or you can type in RuCode right inside the extension marketplace here. And then if we go to RuCode as an example, you'll see the RuCode icon on the left hand side. From there, you're just going to make sure that you have your API key set up. So make sure you've got, for example, you can plug in whatever you want. Like it could be OpenAI, it could be OpenRouter, whatever you want. And then you're going to select whichever API you like to code with. So for example, if we go with Mistral, and then you just type in whatever you want, right? Now, you can switch between like architect and code over here. I'm just going to go straight into code for the sake of this video. If you want to see a long-winded tutorial, check out that one inside the AI Profit Boardroom, like you can see right here, along with the full SOP step-by-step. And if you go into Visual Studio Code, you can just type in something basic, right? So for example, build a beautiful SEO calculator. What that's going to do is start coding out. Then we run the command. And then we're building this bad boy out, right? We just allow if there needs to be anything here. Then we're going to hit save. Right? So on the left hand side, you got the chat. On the right hand side, you got the code. On this side, I just ignore all that stuff. And then you can just keep hitting save if you want to. I've got it on auto proof as well, which saves a lot of time. So now it's creating the JavaScript. So you can see it's created the HTML, the style CSS, the JS. If we hit save on there, we're good to go. Then if we run the code, we've got the SEO calculator right there, and we're done, right? Joe says, so Abdul says, can you tell me which VS Code extension is best for UI design of a website or app? So, I mean, Code and Client are the best for that, but what you want to do is if you want really good UI, is you want to switch to Claude 3.7 Sonnet. It's not that cheap, but it creates the best UI. And if you want cheap, then you can use something called Firebase. Joe, I know you mentioned about it as well. You were just asking inside the chat. So if you want to use Firebase, you just go to firebase.studio, or sorry, studio.firebase. We actually have a full tutorial inside the AI Profit Boardroom on how to use this properly, right? So you can see all these different ways that you can use it. And inside Firebase Studio, you can just build out these apps, right? So for example, we open up this one. This is one that I actually built before. And you can just build whatever you want with it, right? That's a better way to get nice UI. So run through that, how to build an app. For monetization, I mean, like, listen, if you want to monetize something, like you've got to build something of value that people can't just build themselves, right? And so you got to build like a real thing, something crazy or interesting. Now, for me, what I'd recommend if you want to build something, crazy or interesting, for example, is you use something like Data Button. Data Button, it creates something that's much bigger and much more time consuming to build, right? So for example, if we go onto Data Button here, and I've got a full tutorial inside the AI Profit Boardroom along with the full recipe on how to deploy apps and build them. But basically, you can see this whole long chat on the right-hand side of what we've built previously. And now you can see it's loading this app in the middle, right? And basically what I did with this is I built a job board. Now, when it comes to monetization of any app, whether you built it with AI or not, the monetization is really about distribution, right? So how do you market it? So for example, if no one knew about Zapier, no one would buy it. And I'm sure there are plenty of products like Zapier that do just as good a job, but no one knows about them, and so you can't monetize them. And so if you want to monetize stuff, it's not necessarily about how you build the app, right? AI is not going to help you on that, but it is about how you promote it. Now, the best way to promote an app, and I know one of my best mates, he sells a SaaS tool that makes 100K a month, right? Super high profit margins as well. And the way that he does this is he does it with YouTube. And it's the same way that I've scaled my agency to 8 figures at this point. And so if you want to really learn how to use YouTube to market your SaaS tool, your app, your business, your agency, check out inside the AI Profit Boardroom, the YouTube AI roadmap, right? And that basically shows you how to leverage AI to scale your YouTube channel and distribute your app, just like I've done, and just like a lot of my friends do as well. So yeah, you can just steal that from me. I'm actually gonna take that and I'll put it inside the video notes for you over here. All right. But yeah, in terms of monetizing, I would say, honestly, like YouTube is great. X as well. X is really good for monetizing and getting a lot of traffic. Like my X is absolutely blowing up. I mean, you can see here, 671 people. I think I've got 66,000 people following me on X, and the way that we generate the content is very, very simple. So if you go to the social media and video automation section here, you'll see our full section on X and Twitter automations, plus a full prompt down here on exactly how to use X to grow, to grow websites. So yeah, basically that's how you can do this. Next up, what we got here. Kim Lay says, I just joined your community. Would love to get into making music with Suno AI, and I intend to post on YouTube. All right, so let me show you. I actually created this for you, Kim Lay, this morning, right? So for anyone watching, if you want to automate music, you can actually use Suno's API, right? So you can see inside this module, what we've done is we've got the endpoint for Suno. And then inside Suno, what you can do is you can generate music automatically. So for example, here we've got the generic credential type, header auth, Suno. Inside the header auth, we just set up authorization. And I think inside the API key here, I put key, space, and then the API key. If you want to get the API key, then you can go to suno.api and then grab an API key like you can see right here. And inside Suno, you can generate automatically music, right? So if we scroll down, we've got the headers, send headers, accept, application JSON, send body, JSON, using fields below, prompt. And I've just put like a calm and relaxing piano track with soft melodies, style, classical, title, peaceful piano meditation, custom mode true, instrumental true, model, blah, 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 right? And so that's how you can do it. And then inside, and then that's a post request, right? So that's post into the API. And then for the get request, you can just grab the task ID from the last module. You put that to the end of this URL here. You log in with Suno, send the headers, so accept, application JSON, and then you grab this. And you can see on the right hand side, we've got the audio URL automated for AI music. So if we open this up, let's play this back. There we go. Alright, so that was the music automatically generated. It even creates like header art for you, I think, as well, which is pretty crazy. So you got the source audio URL, and then you got the source image URL. Right, so if we go over here, it's generated a beautiful cover art for our music, which is crazy if you ask me. Crazy. And that was all automated, and then you can send that to a spreadsheet. Right? Now, if you want to post it to YouTube, then what you would use is the auto poster, right? So if you want to get the auto poster to YouTube, you can get that inside the AI Profit bottom as well. Essentially how this works, if you want to understand it, is we have a Google Sheet to Blotato. That uploads the Blotato, and then that goes straight to TikTok as well. So you're good to go on that, right? And that's basically it. If you want to grab the automation, I've actually uploaded that inside the NA10 templates and workflow section. You can grab the JSON, download the JSON, and then upload it into NA10 directly. Jake says, I'd like an automated menu builder for a food delivery service. So I've actually created a custom menu builder for Jake right here. So that's a custom menu builder. And then you can, for example, say convert this PDF to a delivery app menu, take the spreadsheet, clean, blah, 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 right? So for example, if we just go into ChatGPT and we say, create a random menu for an Italian restaurant, just as a sample piece of data. Right, so we've got this. It's not included the prices, so I'm just going to say just include the prices. All right, so we've got a random restaurant name. Here's a random menu. We're going to take that, then we're going to go into here. We're going to say, okay, do your magic on this. And then it structured it directly for Uber Eats and DoorDash and everything else, right? Now, what you can see here is it says, do you want to export this to Excel, JSON, DoorDash, etc.? So you can do it that way. That's one way to do it. The other way is you can actually just build the app yourself with bolt.new, right? So you can take that prompt that you mentioned before. I'd like an automated menu builder, blah, blah, blah. Then you can go over to bolt.new and actually build it. So I actually did this earlier for you. And you can see inside the project here, I've said I'd like an automated menu builder. And then if we go inside this app example, it's created a nice little app that we can actually deploy on a subdomain, right? And then you can kind of create like a Uber app, Uber Eats style app for sharing menus. So either way, you've got that covered and you're good to go on that. Let me deploy and I'll share that with you. But it's pretty cool. That's one of the easiest ways to automate apps, to be honest with you. But either way, between the menu builder and the menu app, that should be exactly what you need. And then I'll share this subdomain with you right there. Dustin says, okay, just joined. What I need in the beginner's stage, but one idea I want to create is using my own voiceovers or an AI agent that takes a sample of my voice and uses it for scripts that I create. Right? Then have a short video series with animation generated character. So there's a few different ways you can do this, right? One of the easiest ways is you can go into HeyGen, and let's say, for example, you had a cartoon character that you want to animate, right? So for example, like this. So what you can do, we can say, okay, generate a Yeti style cartoon character facing the camera. And that's going to generate an image that we can then actually generate the audio for in a second, right? So if we go to the home tab here, we're going to use avatar 4. We'll wait for this image to load. And that should do its magic. Alright, so we've got that good to go. We'll download that. Then we're going to go into HeyGen. We're going to upload that image, like you can see. And I'm going to select a voice, and I'm going to use the voice clone that I've got from 11 Labs right here. Let's play this back. Hey there, here's how I sound. Alright, so we're going to take that one right there. Then we're going to say, okay, that should be done for you. Then we'll generate the video. You can change this to like 1080p as well if you want to. I'm just going to generate the video like so. And that will basically animate the character with my voice automatically and create the video, right? So that's one way you can do it. If you want to generate like really realistic voices, you can use 11 Labs. Now, I actually really want to try V3, and I thought this is a good opportunity to set this up. It looks pretty wild. So let's see if we can get this set up. So you can see we've got some cloned voices right here. I'm going to take the Pro voice. As you can see, we're going to use 11 Labs V3, and I'm going to say, okay, and then we should be able to click on Enhance Alpha, right? That V3 button out here, which is just come up right now, and you can see how it's said confused. So it's basically adding emotion to the voice. So let's generate the speech now. Cut the Checkhouse is 11.
What's happening right now?
Cut the speech says, is 11 Labs uncensored? Not as far as I know, I don't think it's uncensored. So let's play this back.
What's happening right now? What's happening right now?
I actually don't like that at all. That doesn't sound like me at all.
You can never know where you're going unless you know where you have been.
That sounds a lot more like me. This sounds nothing like me, to be honest with you. Not a big fan. But let's go back to this avatar example here. So learning from that, from what I can see, V3 doesn't look very good if you want lifelike styles. But anyway, let's play this video back.
Okay, that should be done for you.
Yeah, so you can see the animation right here.
Okay, that should be done for you.
Pretty easy and simple. And if you want to automate that with NA10, you can as well. But I would recommend if you're just a beginner, so Dustin, you were saying you're at the beginner stage, this is the easiest workflow. Just go to HeyGen, generate an image with ChatGPT, add your voice from 11 Labs using the Pro clone version, and then you're good to go on that, like you can see. All right. Michael DeSalvo says, my challenge is setting up self-hosting. So I assume you're saying that's for NA10, right? For self-hosting. So the way that I would recommend self-hosting, if you're using NA10, I've actually got a video tutorial on it right here, as you can see, is using Alessio. Alessio, it allows you to deploy with NA10. So you can set up NA10 or any of these other apps directly here and self-host. Having said that, I don't recommend self-hosting. Like, it's not very useful at all compared to just going directly on NA10 or any of these other platforms. Chris Green says, I want to learn NA10 a little bit deeper. So you can get that inside the NA10 templates and workflows section here. You see all these different workflows. So for example, like a fire call Reddit bot, VR3 NA10 automation, HeyGen, etc. If you're on the channel and you're watching this and you're like, oh, I don't want to join the AI Profit Boardroom, like I just want to learn. Well, we actually created a 5-hour course for you earlier this week on NA10. Let me find that for you. Yeah, there you go. Full course, 5 hours. This one right here. So either way, if you want to learn about NA10, you can do it via this. But I would recommend the AI Profit Boardroom simply because you'll get live coaching, you get community support, you get support from me. And also, we've broken down all the workflows into like shorter, more digestible sections, right? So for example, this is just a short tutorial on how to use VR3. Peter says, I'm looking for ways to use GHL automations to streamline AI. For any thoughts in the best ways to prompt built-in AI into writing emails and workflows, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So there's a few different options here. We actually use Pitchbox for cold outreach. Pitchbox is really powerful. It's mostly for SEO agencies, but I think like any type of outreach it's really good for. It's got a lot of AI functionality in there. You've also got Genspark, right? So I've created this video where I show how to do this. And essentially you can see inside this video that we can generate leads inside the video. We can get their email addresses, and then we can actually ask Genspark to send emails. So as an example of that, if we go to my inbox on me@juliangolo.com, we'll go to this example, and you can see inside this email right here that I've actually automated an email to myself for outreach using Genspark. So that's another method. We actually have a course on that inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. And additionally, you can use Zapier, right? Now, we've actually got a inbound automation for emails in Zapier, but you can do the same for outbound. It's exactly the same. It's just you're sending emails out, not using them in. So those are 3 different ways: Pitchbox, Genspark, and Zapier. Randall says, here's a problem I'm looking to solve and make available to others. Job applications take a long time to fill out across so many different employer and job sites. You need to manually pass the information, blah, blah, blah. In addition, the agents could write a cover letter. Can you build a workflow that does that, right? So there's a few different options for doing this, right? If we, for example, if we open up a random form, I'm going to test if this works. So this is something called Nano Browser, right? And basically what you can see here is it will actually fill out the forms for us, like you can see. So it's filling out, okay, no specific challenges, just testing the form, current revenue, well, the AI agent makes nothing. And it fills out the form automatically for us, right? Yes, I promise to take action implementing. I'm going to stop that there, but you can see how this can actually automate filling out the form using Nano Browser, right? Now, if you want to see a full tutorial and recipe on that, you can check out this video right here on how to use Nano Browser. And you can get a free API, so you can actually use Gemini 2.5 Pro with Nano Browser extension and use that to fill out forms for you. That's one of the easiest ways that I would recommend doing this, right? The other way that I like to do is just use canned responses. So I actually have something, it's not AI, but I use something called Text Expander. And inside Text Expander, if we type in Upwork 1, for example, it will just automatically fill out the form for us, right? So if it's just something basic that doesn't require copy and pasting, you're good to go on that. And then for Gig Radar is an actual tool that automates this for you, right? And I've got a video breakdown on it right here. But if we go to Gig Radar, basically what this can do is it can automate sending job applications for Upwork and Fiverr and also all these other platforms, including LinkedIn, right? So you can automatically respond and fill out applications for all sorts of stuff, which is pretty cool. It can even like bid for stuff. It can answer questions ASAP. Pretty powerful. So those are 3 different ways to automate this. Rusty says, thanks for building the community. Where you come in, we want to shout out to Pretty Petty Pearl, which is something he's working on. So everyone knows about it now. Congrats to you, mate. And he says, we want to streamline and scale our content engine from SEO hooks to script generation, scheduling, and distribution. All right. So for 2 different ways you could do that. So in terms of HeyGen and automating HeyGen, we have an NA10 automation right here. You can see how it works. And you can also download the JSON blueprint. We've got a basic and an advanced one. Download that, import it into NA10, boom shakalak, you've automated it. Right? For for SEO in general, we've got all these different automations here. Now, the easiest and simplest one is to use SEO Writing AI. Really simple and easy to use, and it will automate a lot of SEO content for you. And that's basically how it works. Graham says, so I need to learn all this NA10 stuff, currently using GHL. So, there are many different tools you can use for this stuff, right? We like to use NA10 because it's great and it's so easy once you get your head around it. You can see, for example, we automated client onboarding and we also automated opt-ins and landing pages. However, you could use something like Mate.com. We have workflows for that. We also have, for example, Zapier. You can use all of those, but my preferred favorite is NA10. Now, you also asked, what's the best AI voice tool these days? So it depends what it's for, right? So, for example, if we actually go onto YouTube and we look at one of my latest avatar videos, like, for example, this one. Let's play this one. "2025, 2032, Sam Altman just dropped the biggest AI bombshell of 20." So that voice right there, that's generated with 11 Labs. So that's probably the best voice clone you're going to find on the internet. You can actually use 11 Labs like this, but I set up a pro clone, and that was way better than all the other types of voices. Now, for actual voice agents, like if you want an outbound voice agent, Retail AI is really, really good. That can clone your voice and then do outbound calls. And if you're wondering, okay, what's the best automation for automating outbound calls? And bear in mind, you have to be very careful legally with this stuff. I don't recommend it, but I can show you how to do it. And also, I think, from a client compliance perspective, before you use anything like this, you always want to check with a lawyer first. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. You got to figure that stuff out yourself. But you can see here that you can actually download this appointment setter workflow. And what this will do is inside NA10, if we open up a new workflow and import this, like so, what this is going to do is as soon as a new event is scheduled in the calendar, and you can change that trigger to whatever you want, You can then send this to an outbound AI agent, and then that will make a phone call to someone ASAP, like you can see, right? So that's an easy voice agent as well. You can use 11 Labs inside there too, but yeah, they're the two different ways that you can use voice tools. Randall says, is there a step-by-step video to customize a social media posting machine? So what he's talking about is this social media posting machine right here. So if you want to customize any of this, you just change the prompts, right? So for example, if we go to NA10, we'll sign in here. You can get that workflow inside the AI Profit Boardroom, but if we go to create workflow, add from URL, from file, this is going to be a big machine, right? But if you want to customize any part of this, you just click in and edit it. Now you can see it actually starts with a chat. So that's how you automate it and customize it to you. So you use the chat message right there. Then that's going to route it to an AI agent. Now if we pull up these example prompts, so for example like this, you can change the prompts in the outputs directly. So you can customize it inside each section. So if we have a look at the email template, for example, you can change the style of how it's written, you can add some prompts in there, and you can add all your custom prompts inside this whole workflow. But yeah, and then also you can see it actually shows you step by step how to use each of these processes and how to write all the content. So yeah, just click into each one of these. Now it's a big beast. Like this could be a 2-hour long video in itself, running you through the whole process, but that's essentially how you use it. And then if you want to customize it, like I say, just use the chat agent. So when you go to test workflow, open up the chat, and then you can customize it here. And Prasant says, how can I completely automate smart workflows from ideation, planning, organizing? All right. So if you want to develop a smart AI SaaS, I would recommend using Data Button. It's pretty cool. Basically, you can tell it what SaaS you want to build, and it will build the front end and the back end. So it's kind of like a full stack situation, which is really cool. And inside Data Button, for example, if we load up this project that I worked on previously, you can go inside the chat, and then you can tell it what you want, right? So for example, for this particular project, I just said like create a nice little job board, and then it starts going off designing it, creating the back end, the front end. We linked it to Superbase as well, so people can log in. So if you're going to sign in here, you can sign in with Superbase. And if you want to see a full tutorial on it, we've got it right there inside the AI Profit Boardroom Data Button section. You can just type in Data Button here, and you'll find the video there directly. So that's basically what I'd recommend using, and that will help you go from ideation, planning, organizing, developing, and deploying, right? Because inside Data Button, for example, if we go back here, we'll click on New App. This is the whole ideation process. So you give it a description, the requirements, the inspiration, and then integrate it. And if you want to see that in slow motion, then you can go inside this video tutorial. So for example, if we're like, right, okay, build a food delivery app, something like that. You can link Firebase and Superbase authentication, and then also you can also insert Stripe in there as well to allow payments, and then it will start creating a plan in the app and create the MVP for you. So that's one of the best ways to use this. And that's basically it. I've answered every single automation on the list, 49 comments right there. If you want to get your own AI automation, feel free to join the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. Comes with 3 coaching calls per week. It also comes with all my best automations, templates, workflows, all the NA10 templates that I've shown you today. You can also DM me if you need any help and support. And inside the community, it's just a community of winners, all focused on the same thing, which is growing and scaling with AI. And we also just celebrate our wins and have a lot of fun together as we do this, right? Additionally, each week we have a thread like this where you can request any automations, and then we will build them out for you, like you can see in this video today. And then what we actually do is we reply to your message with a link to the automation, and then also the timestamp of the video section where we answered your question. So thanks so much for watching, appreciate that. Prices are going up after 700 members, so make sure you sign up now before you miss out. And additionally, if you just want us to automate and implement all this stuff for you, feel free to book in an AI strategy session, link in the comments description. On that call, we can basically look at where you spend your time, figure out how to save you time and automate that. And then if you want us to do it, we'll just implement that for you. So feel free to book that in, link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, bye-bye.